Uh, It is 7:31, so I'd like to call the FAMPO Policy Committee meeting for Monday, March 23rd. Order, please. Please stand if you wish for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Move on to item 3, roll call determination of quorum. Mr. Lang.
Will McIntosh,
Present?
Crystal Vanush, here. Chris Yakubowski,
Here.
Dante Diggs,
Present.
Susanna Finn, here. Lori Hayes,
Here.
Greg Kenyon,
Here.
Long.
Shannon Holmes,
Here.
Drew Mullins,
Here.
Robert Snyder,
He's not joining us.
He's not joining us.
not on, and Pamela Young.
Present.
Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you. And Mr. Henyon is with us online, just for the record. All right. Let's move on to item 4, approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. All right, item 5, public involvement. This is a time for comments and questions from members of the public. Are there any members of the public here that wish to address the committee? Mr. Watkins, you have 3 minutes. Mr. Watkins also has a PowerPoint for us.
So you don't have to look at me. Okay. Good evening, members of the Policy Board. I'm Alan Watkins, and I live in George Washington District of Stafford County. At a recent CTAC meeting, we were brought up to date on the constrained long-range plan for projects that got me thinking about the current river crossing project. Next slide, please. You will recall that the build grant application had a purpose that identified that it would seek to reduce regional traffic congestion, trip length, and travel time. Next slide, please. Just to point out the differences here, here is the consultant's final sketch of their option C route compared to their original route, along with the routes that were created by both CTAC and FAMPO staff. Next slide, please. We understand that the neighborhood study may determine a location that is different from any of the routes that were presented within the option C corridor. Next slide, please. Regardless of where the bridge and the parkway are located, we urge the design to include the historical sites in this region, finding a way to make them visitable by the public. Slide 2. I just want to remind everyone of the differences that existed within the CTAC option C, such as a route that was over flatter elevations, avoiding the conservation easements as much as possible, and also maintaining as much of a tree canopy as possible. And also, of course, utilizing the shortest estimated bridge time. Next slide, please. But you remember there was a lot more to that. CTAC also had recommended a second branch that would travel southward into Spotsylvania County, ultimately connecting to Route 3. This became even more important when modeling. Next slide. The modeling identified that almost half of the 25 intersections that were studied showed no real reductions in delays when compared to the no-build option. 2 highlighted yellow rectangles identify the delays that are either equal to, or in most cases, worse than having no bridge built. Next slide, please. The last one. Bringing this back to the CLRP I spoke of at the beginning, that was originally supposed to be a part of the agenda for this meeting. I'd also like the board to consider that when trying to find a connective and transformative project for the region, that a study of the impact that a second bridge and parkway into Spotsylvania County seems warranted, especially since modeling identified that so many of the southernmost intersections will have substantially increases in congestion, and certainly doesn't seem to be as transformative as it might, especially when alone by itself. Thank you.
Time.
Well, it's pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
How many times you practice that?
Thank you, Mr. Watkins. Anybody else? Are there any other members of the public here Nope. Okay, Mr. Lang, do we have any letters? Their feet.
Hi. Hi. I'm not sure which committee this should go to, but I had previously submitted a comment recommending that FAMPO consider asking VDOT to upgrade Route 610 in Stafford and Montpelier counties to primary status, since according to the VDOT Fredericksburg District, Route 610 receives the funding for primary route. It does not have that designation. It was once Route 213 of the district passed, and while that number is currently in use elsewhere, there are other numbers on, or perhaps VDOT could create an exception and just make it primary with the number 610. I would also like to suggest the following route designation changes. US Route 17 business and US Route 17 alternate in the Cosner Corner area of Spotsylvania County form part of a triangle intersection with US Route 1 and US Route 17 Mills Drive. The problem is these routes aren't effective business or alternate routes, and these routes also don't actually have approval from AASHTO as far as I can tell. VDOT used to sign such routes as Y routes. See, for example, Route 205Y in Colonial Beach. Also, US Route 17 business doesn't really serve much of a purpose, since traffic on Mills Drive headed for US Route 1 can still turn left or right at that intersection. In my opinion, these routes should probably be decommissioned or converted to a Y route, US Route 7Y, State Route 17Y. State Route 2 runs from Richmond to Fredericksburg, but between Mills Drive and downtown Fredericksburg, it is concurrent with another US Route 17 business, which actually functions as a business route, unlike the one I just talked about. Route 2 ends at Route 3, while still concurrent with US Route 17 business. And given that US business routes are still considered primary by VDOT, Route 2 really has no reason to exist between Mills Drive and Route 3. It also does not help that signage for Route 2 along this stretch is quite sparse. I believe this segment should just be designated as US Route 17 business, 2 ending at Mills Drive. In addition, if the new Rappahannock River crossing is built, I believe that route should also receive a primary designation from VDOT when it is completed, given that it will be a vital link between the suburban portions of Spotsylvania County and a rapidly developing area of Stafford County. Thank you for your time. And that is the only comment that we have.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lang. All right, let's move on to item 6, the consent agenda. Does anyone wish to pull anything from the consent agenda?
Nope.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right. Item 7, this is fast.
You wanted a quick meeting.
We did, yes.
Just double.
All right, item 7, the action and discussion items. Let's move on to 7A, which is a resolution directing a public comment period, the draft Fredericksburg area, draft FAMPO Title 7 program plan. Mr. Lang.
So this is our FAMPO Title 6 program plan update. So Title 6 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is the prohibition against exclusion from participation in, denial of benefits of, and discrimination under federally assisted programs on grounds of race, color, or national origin. Because FAMPO receives federal funds, this plan outlines our plan to ensure that we comply with Title 6 of the Civil Rights Act. We are updating the FAMPO Title 6 program plan because 2021, FAMPO had the Community Equity Program plan, what we call the SEEP, which fulfills both the required Title 6 and the public participation plan in one document. In 2025, we met with VDOT, who told us to separate the documents instead. So we combined VDOT's template for the Title 6 plans with the 2019 GWRC and FAMPO Title 6 plans. We worked with GWRC in this, so the GWRC Title 6 plan that I believe has already been adopted and the FAMPO plan are exactly the same, with just FAMPO and GWRC updated, switched out for each other. In 2026, we sent over our draft plan over to VDOT Central Office, who reviewed the plan and so all we need to do now is today open the 45-day public comment period to approve the plan. And in May, we will come back to the policy committee and we'll approve the plan. We will update the website and any necessary documents. That's it.
Mr. Lang, how long does this plan last for? Does it or is it?
Just expired.
It's in place until they tell us they want something different. Okay. Okay.
thinking in 2021 was that we should combine it all into one. Now the thinking is, we should have finance. Whatever, we don't have a view on that. So moved.
Second.
Let's just remember the motion to open the public comment period. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? No. Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we'll come back in May. Right. In May. Okay. Item 7B, FAMPO area TAP project selected for funding reviews.
To inform you of the CED member selections for the Transportation Alternative Program this year. Next slide. So, in case you don't know, you guys can take a look at this later in your pack. This is basically what the Transportation Alternative Program is. It's a biennial program. The eligible project types are usually bike-ped facilities, safe routes to school, that sort of thing. And each construction district gets about $2 million for every 2 years. And it's 80-20 federal funding. It's a reimbursement program. And you have 4 years from the time you have been funded to get your project to construction. Next slide. So here we go. There's something for everyone. Stafford, Spotsylvania, and Fredericksburg all got selected by CTV members. We've got Mine Road and Greenspoon Drive, Forbes Street at Falmouth. These are all sidewalk projects. The last one there, Charles and William Street, that is a improved crossing. Those two at that intersection. Next slide. So basically what happens next is these will be put into VDOT's draft 6-year improvement program. There's going to be a public hearing process in the spring, and then we'll know by June when the final 6-year improvement program has been finalized, for lack of a better word. If you would like to know all about the Transportation Alternatives Program, you can click on that. Any questions?
Chair?
Yeah.
Just one further comment. Our CTB member, Ms. Laura Sellers, did reach out to me late this afternoon and just said she's unable to be here tonight for personal reasons. If any member wishes to discuss any of these projects with her, she's very open to having a conversation with any of you. So feel free to contact her. She'll happily answer any questions that you may have of her as our CTB member. So I'm just passing that message along.
Any questions for Ms. All right, it's great news.
Yep.
Move on to item 7C, a memorandum of understanding related to trails. So this is something I actually asked Mr. Alice to put on the agenda because there's an expired memorandum, and I want to raise the question of perhaps reopening this memorandum. This MOU, please. So, yes, Ms. Gold.
This is a memorandum executed in 2016 between the entities shown on the first bullet. The reason that Stafford County and Spotsylvania is not is the route of the Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail starts at the mouth of the Potomac and goes to the Allegheny Highlands. So these are the involved FAMPO jurisdictions as well as King George County. And it was a 5-year agreement termination. The foundation of the agreement that everyone agreed to is to recognize the planned and existing routes within Stafford, King George, and Fredericksburg comprehensive plans, authorizes the use of the official trail marker along the trail, and to establish a formal foundation for cooperation to develop planned segments and conserve corridors. So there is a Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail website that shows approved and proposed routes, that's the foundation agreement. Next slide, Jean. This is the map that's in the agreement, and in orange are potential proposed alternative routes. The Dahlgren Trail is the blue and red line there. The red are proposed or approved routes. And then final slide. And these are what Chair McIntosh would like for us to discuss tonight.
Okay, yeah, so this is this actually was brought to me by Ms. Hipke, who's the chair of CTAC at the moment, right? She was the one who flagged this for me, that we had this MOU and that it had expanded, right? And my understanding from conversations with her is that there are at least some jurisdictions to our north. Was it Fairfax?
So, yeah, there's a, no, I'm looking for something. I work with some Heritage National Scenic Trails, and my asking is there. There is an MOU that is with Fairfax County, Prince William County, Alexandria, Arlington, all those localities up there to, with National Park Service to plan and extend the trail down. They've pretty much gotten it planned. I'm not gonna say they've had it completely built, but they are working towards that. They're trying to capture the fact that it's the 250th anniversary for the country. This is, this is the Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail. Historically, the roads and the creeks were our rivers, were our roads and highways. That captures it. Then also, we also look at the Rochambeau Trail. That's General Rochambeau came from New York down at George Washington to Northtown. That's captures the 250th anniversary. And of course, in here in Fredericksburg, the Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail, it's many of our historic sites here, including Ferry Farm, which was mentioned at our meeting, that we want to have some kind of connection there. So we have been talking about trails. We've been talking about connectivity is very big with us, the first mile, last mile connections. In our conversations, it was brought to our attention that we would like to learn more about the Heritage National Scenic Trail. So we reached out to Jennifer Wampler from the MPS, and she gave a very good presentation on that, on the trail. And last month, week ago, we met and we made a recommendation to the policy committee to explore renewing the memorandum of understanding with the National Park Service, the Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail, as well as explore other regional trail options. And we discussed the East Coast Greenway. We discussed the Jalbrin Railroad Heritage. We discussed, of course, I just mentioned Rochambeau, and also Cannon Ridge Ferry Farm. We talked about as well. And we also talked about, possibly this would be a good opportunity for us to connect to easements, utility, water, sewer easements, to create more offsite trails. Look at these trails as, first of all, transportation. Second of all, try to figure out ways to get them so there's not so many conflicts with main roads and highways. Use the access points. So we're looking at things. We wanted to encourage use of easements and things like that. So.
And my understanding from my conversation with you is that those jurisdictions to our north, that there had been some resources that had flowed through from the National Park Service as a result of the MOU to help some of this planning forward.
Yes.
That's what caught my eye.
Yeah.
What caught my ear. Yes.
I just want to apologize for that. But yes, one of the benefits of the NPS, MOU, we were at the meeting and we were talking about the agreement, and Jennifer brought up that they actually fund a position in the Northern Virginia Regional Commission to coordinate and plan for the Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail, which I think was very helpful for us in terms of from what I can see. I'm not in the Parks and Rec department, but I work with the Trails and Blueways Council, and I work with the planning office, obviously. But yes, they fund a position through MPS. Jennifer did say, of course, that's going to be subject to resource availability and things like that. But it's a great opportunity. It looks like we're on track. It looks like what happened in 2021. I think the executive director of the MPS was not available, or something to do with it kind of got dropped. This is a great time to bring it up. The Constitution was signed in 1787. This might be a really good 250th anniversary. Make it it's too much math for me tonight, but the 250th anniversary when the Constitution signed, and take that trail down here. We can tell people we actually.
All right. So yeah, thank you, Ms. Hipke. And so I wanted to bring to you guys these questions, right? Does this make sense to? I mean, it sounds like it died sort of almost accidentally in 2021. Is this something that we might want to pursue, right? Is this, and a question I have for you is, does this strike you guys as an interesting model for us as a region, right? That there may be other trails that are not of direct federal interest, right? That the jurisdictions might want to get together and pursue some MOUs about to help us guide collaborative planning process, resources across jurisdictional boundaries, right? And then the final question, right, is this something that we should be bumping to GWRC, not least because we would want to bring King George to the table, obviously, right? So,
Only for Stafford.
I don't think the MOU as I read it does not involve any financial.
That is a question about the MOU concept.
Yeah.
The existing MOU or the last MOU didn't.
We have to dedicate resources, time, money.
The way I read it, no resource dedication
So.
committed. It was basically agreement to collaborate in the planning process, right? And to share share marker signage, things like that for continuity across, right? Yeah.
Sorry, I was here.
Okay.
Why did it happen? It's not sort of. There's lifestyle.
What did you say?
Yes. Here.
There's a lot of other things happening in 2021. Yeah. It's fair. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead and then Dr. Young.
There's gonna be a few part. Is there anything you could rely on your memory? Relying on your memory here, is there anything that you can remember of note that?
So.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
I said you're still. Gotcha.
And there wasn't a lot, like, there was a lot of excitement when the MOU started, and that was. And.
Right.
Yeah.
There were some difficult times at FAMPO back then.
Dr. Young.
Yeah, similar questions. What was the expectations then what did you get? What expectations did you all put forward? And then what was the fiscal impact? Did you all have any measurable outcomes that you all expected? So I would like to see that. It's not a bad idea, but I would like to see those things first, like what transpired then, what measures did you all have, I understand about having a small staff, but I just need to know what's there before. I'm not just gonna, and we just have it.
Supervisor Hayes.
Yeah, so. I don't see that this is an action item tonight, it's just.
No, this is raising the questions. Is this something that we should pursue?
So I kind of would like to have some time
Mhm.
to understand in better detail exactly what this is.
Mhm.
Because it doesn't really, it's not hugely Spotsylvania, right? It says
It's not Spotsylvania at all, as it exists.
What's the interior?
Especially not tonight.
Spotsylvania National Military Park, is that just an entity that would be
That's
in that?
that's the National Park Service branch that is here. Fredericksburg.
Oh, okay,
Spotsylvania National Military
okay,
Park. So
all
it's
right.
a subset of it, yes.
But I definitely think that, having King George involved is a must. I mean, I think.
Well, and I think one of the questions that I'd like to discuss just in response to that, right, is this a model that strikes us as useful for other, we've talked about, for example, the VCR trail across. Is it a model that might be useful for other routes that might exist in Pennsylvania? And that might be something specific. Okay, yeah,
Right.
Supervisor Mullins.
To piggyback off that, this is a good time, 250. To shake some unforeseen money, because of this.
Yeah.
And then if you could, I would love to see something like that and connecting. We talked about it, but connecting the battlefields to maybe, I think.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the Rochambeau Trail, which was not subject to this, but is a different federal initiative, that passes through Spotsylvania.
I can't.
Yeah,
I don't.
I think it does, yeah. That's again, another prospective federal route that was not part of this.
I think the word timing is important here because when the MOU was first passed and was first presented here, it was about the same time as the one up in Northern Virginia. I think the concentration of effort was up there because the trail was coming from the north down here. Well, I work in Prince William and we're pretty close to finishing, at least having it planned out and have a pretty good idea of where the routes are going to go. So if I was going to do a review or an analysis of what the benefits of mining, what I would probably do is get Northern Virginia chapter and talk to folks that are very, they should find out from them because the effort was up there. It wasn't down here, right? Right.
Supervisor Diggs, I saw you had your hand up.
So trails are really important. I'm the George Washington District Representative, and we're trying to finish the Ferry Farm Trail. So when we talk about resources, I'm definitely interested in this, connecting with Fredericksburg. And I also agree that King George needs to be at the table as well. So that's if we know that there's not any fiscal impact for us, I think it's a no-brainer. It's supposed to be about regionalism, right?
That's right.
That was last.
Yeah, we're gonna bring it into.
We do it at every meeting that you're in together.
GWRC, that's what it said.
I think that.
And can we also know what the layout is that they're doing up in Northern Virginia? Do you have something that you could bring to GWRC? Okay.
Yeah, I'll find something and bring it down.
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to remember back. Was there an issue in King George with this trail at some point or something? Was it somebody's land that they were going through or?
I think one of the members of the MOU, right, which was the Dahlgren Heritage Rail Trail. My understanding, there has been some
issues around
right,
that.
but I think that's not related to this.
It's not. Okay.
That particular trail, if I may, Chair, the owners, if I can put it like that, wanted to have that trail incorporated into a park that exists.
Okay.
And so there was this interplay between federal and state parks and the owners of this trail. They would prefer to relinquish it to the park and have it be incorporated, but there are a bunch of legal things that have to be done for that to be feasible.
Entirely owned and they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Not as I read it.
No, that's federal legislation.
I think it is literally about coordinating planning efforts. And we're all agree to play nicely together on planning efforts on that.
Nice, sure.
But there's it's not really nice, but there's a consequence to planning out a trail if you don't own the land. Somebody's gonna have to take it.
I think if it's put across private land, yes.
But a lot of the stuff she was talking about is private land, the Cannon Ridge, that's all private land.
Yeah, sometimes it goes on private. What I can tell you about the experience. I'm sorry. You'll be, am I taking out a turn?
No, please, yeah.
I can only speak about how my work up in Prince William County. We have, a couple of rezoning applications. One's Belmont Bay, another one's Destination Place. And the trail is proposed, right now it's the central line on the plan. But now that we're getting into rezoning, the applicants are providing us proffers, we're reviewing it, and then that's when they're actually laying down where they're gonna. So that ties it down that way. It's at this stage, it's very conceptual. Then we start tightening it down, then we get a rezoning in, it gets a little bit more tighter until it's built.
Yeah, I guess I would wanna look at the map because I don't wanna start a stir that we're trying to build a.
Trail.
Well, that one trail that we're trying to do,
Plan.
that one trail, the Ferry Farm Trail, there's a community there that's really upset.
She and I were just talking about.
Oh, I'm very
I-
familiar.
Yeah.
I've already gotten,
I've seen them at your meetings.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
um,
I think we need to digest. Can we just digest it? Let's go back to our staff.
Yeah.
We talk through,
see what they remember too, because our staffs might remember.
And I think the board needs to weigh in as well.
Yeah.
So
Counselor Finn, then Counselor Cole.
If I could add, just looking at the map, just, I refresh myself, there's like 6 or 7 different alternate plans here. Like there are many routes, I'm sure most of them are along right of way that make this more feasible, but.
Many of them are on the street.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, on the street. But through the majority of the region, they are otherwise designated as some other trail or identified in another way that makes them a trail, like the East Coast Greenway. But the King George portions are the only ones that is only this designated. So I honestly don't feel comfortable making any sort of move on it, given that King George does not have a representation here, and it is solely here. So I would suggest that we just sort of make a friendly recommendation or refer this to GWRC
That's what I was
and
gonna-
say, we're not taking action, but we think this is more appropriate.
You can ask to put it on the GWRC agenda.
Again,
Because of the date, 2016, it needs to be rewritten entirely.
I think that is
As I
correct,
look
yes,
at the
yes.
language, So to kind of address the concerns
Yeah.
that the different towns have.
So don't we do a meeting with King George specifically?
So the GWRC board includes all 5 jurisdictions, but if you look at your membership list on the website, you'll see that this board has got non-voting members of both King George and Caroline County, but they're non-voting because they don't participate in certain federal programs. There are actually members here. They attend sometimes, not frequently, because there's not issues of concern to them on our agenda that often. But there are actually non-voting members, and they are also members of TAC. And at the TAC, they're actually voting members. Historically, going back to before my time.
I wish I knew, I forgot, because I did that cat stay a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Kathy usually listens to this meeting online,
Yeah.
but she's probably.
It's a child.
But yes, but request GWRC as a discussion like this and sees where King George and Caroline are on this thing, if you wish to take it forward. This is not a FAMPO staff-driven project. This is, as you can see, board members, members of the community, members of the CTAC, who there's kind of some interest in doing this, and we're happy to facilitate whatever you all want us to do. We don't have a particular, we're not pushing for a particular outcome.
So can I
I
ask,
think trails are great, but I'm not pushing for any outcome.
can I ask you a question, Mr. Hollis, which is if the GWRC board with all of its representations agrees that this is something worth following up on, right? Would you and GWRC then work amongst yourselves in terms of on the staff level, like how you push the next steps forward?
Sure.
Whether it's reaching out to folks in Northern Virginia, reestablishing contact with the Park Service.
So what you probably don't remember is that when I was appointed 5.5 years ago, almost 5.5 years ago, I was told in my first interview with, I don't know if any of you were here, but anyway, I was told in my first interview, 90% of my time needs to be devoted to FAMPO and 10% of my time needs to be devoted to transportation projects for the rural counties. Part of my employment letter even says that, and in fact, they gave me 2 different titles, which caused some offense to some people. At FAMPO, I'm called the FAMPO administrator. GWRC called me the director of transportation planning for rural transportation, right? So technically, I have these 2 names, technically, I have 2 jobs. 90% of my time is devoted to FAMPO, and 10% of it is devoted to the rural counties. So Carrie runs the entire rural work program for King George and Caroline. And I work with Carrie on rural projects, and we have leader sometimes makes maps for the rural work program. Eugene does their public engagement. So the email database that goes out to the rural counties for transportation, it's FAMPO and /GWRC staff. We're 2 hats and do both jobs.
So what you're telling me is it's not going to be a problem to staff this initiative.
What I'm saying is the staff
GWRC.
are all the same. We don't have any money to spend on it.
Right. But in terms of,
we have willing hands in the office, happy to help you with whatever it is you want us to do.
Dr.
Chairman, thank you. So is this a transportation trail? Is that the transportation or the GWC as a topic of conversation? We're not, we have some members that are on both, like
Correct.
Supervisor Hayes is on both. Like, why can they not put it on the agenda just like we did? Have a
I
conversation.
think that's what we're going to ask them to do.
Okay.
That seems to be the consensus around the table.
Yeah.
Just rally.
Yeah.
Figure out what they decide. And
Yeah, we all
go from
are.
there.
Yeah.
All of us are on the same thing. All right.
It's essentially forum shopping. It doesn't actually matter because we could remind Caroline that they're part of this board. We can have them at GWRC board. It doesn't actually matter to us as staff because we're going to do the work, whether it's this board or the other board that makes decisions or agnostic as to which forum you have the conversation in.
So I think the other forum, Chair, I think the forum would be better because they can actually vote. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other forum would be better because. So.
I think it's on me, not you. I can't hear.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Excellent.
Positive.
So
Yes, so it seems like there's interest around the table in this moving forward, but GWRC is the right forum for it, so we're gonna ask them to take this up.
just to
Yes.
just to give me an instruction, could you just officially resolve that I must work with GWRC and ask them to put this on their board
Yeah,
agenda?
See,
use that 10%.
Yes, I will request on your behalf, though. Right?
Yes, yes. All right, all in favor? So I think Councilor Holmes made the motion and
Okay.
Supervisor.
Okay.
All right, all in favor?
I.
I'll post.
All right, thank you. Item 8. Wow. Staff and agency reports.
So just wanted to inform the board that we did submit the FY26 build grant for the tiered NEPA study for the Rappahannock River Crossing New Bridge and Parkway. That was accomplished on the grant submission deadline.
All right.
And we thank everybody for letters of support. We got a whole bunch. We got a congressman and we got a state senator and we got all of your jurisdictions and GWRC and FAMPO boards and all that. So thank you very much.
And thank VDOT, Mr. Henny. Thank you.
Senator Durant.
Durant, yes. I had a phone conversation with her and she said she'd be delighted to give us a letter and she signed a letter and said it first. And the congressman was the congressman for this area.
And then Mr. Lang, you had an item on here too?
Yes, it's been.
Yeah, it was, we were just listing off, our upcoming information table. Item is from, we've already passed.
An upcoming event that is in the past.
The upcoming event
Nice there.
has now happened.
See you there.
Yes.
It's now happened. And we share just a final comment from me and I'll be done. We have closed the survey for the goals and needs of the long range transportation plan. And Eugene done a fantastic job of getting the word out there, making videos and posts all over the place. And just give us one factoid. How many people completed the survey? 1,074. So thank you to all of you who just promoted it. Thank you. We appreciate your support and your help in getting the word out. It's a great result, but we will give you a presentation once we've sorted through the responses.
What was your goal again, Mr. Lang?
All right.
Yes, great.
Oh, it's been goal.
7% over the goal. All right. Any board member or chair comments?
Probably that's one of the 10. I'm reading that. Just we anticipate for the size of it's some kind of.
Don't have any idea.
I think we should
Is it
be
tight?
okay.
You think we'll be okay?
Yeah, because the transportation meeting's pretty tight there.
Yeah, just we have a lot of backbenchers that are gotta accommodate. Or side benchers or sorry, I don't mean that and
Guys from the bench,
Well,
yeah.
you know.
are you saying that room is not very
Well, I'm
large?
just wondering if we need to get out in front of it. and have
How many people did?
actually rehearse and
So my goal in asking FAMPO to meet in the jurisdictions was that hopefully we get a higher degree of engagement from members of the public. Those other,
to that point.
in those other jurisdictions.
we
So
wanna-
if the folks from Spotsylvania would like to encourage your constituents to come, that was the point of this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So a bigger room
I
would
mean, you
be,
could do it in the
Over.
boardroom.
We didn't have a huge attendance when we did it in Stafford.
No.
no, yeah, we didn't,
We
right?
had one or two extra faces, which was nice, but we didn't have a massive crowd that arrived. So it depends on if the county's been marketing it and pushing it, might then want to have a bigger venue, but we didn't have a massively bigger crowd.
Ask Ed tomorrow
Yeah.
if.
We'll be fine. And if we have too many people, just walk across the side of the
Um,
Like the way you.
I would encourage my colleagues from Spotsylvania County to treat this as a competition. Look, if you can show up,
Oh, wow.
the Stafford turnout with.
They need 3 people.
I am excited.
We just want to.
Yeah, excellent, awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Y'all gonna have some good food down there, some cookies and things?
We'll bring the food.
Spicy water?
All right.
We usually have sandwiches.
Supervisor Young has an item.
So, Mr. Watkins, you spoke earlier, isn't he a member of this?
Yes, sir.
So you voted in this board to add the chairperson of CTAC as a non-voting member of this board. And so the lovely lady you heard from just now is actually the chair of the CTAC and comes regularly to these meetings and on occasion will give you feedback from CTAC.
Okay.
But it's written into the bylaws now. You have put,
This is actually first time I've thought about it, but I just know that Mr. Watkins just asked for his 3 minutes, and I thought, since he's a member, and if you all are in discussion and agree on things, then should be able to present.
so Mr. Watkins is not a member of the policy committee. He is a member of the CTAC, but the chair of CTAC is an actual member of the policy committee, but a non-voting member.
I understand that, but that's what I'm saying, that they should be given updates on their subcommittee, right? That would be, start with that. They're here.
The BPAC also is in the same boat. The BPAC has, the chairperson of the BPAC is a member of,
I just think.
non-voting member of the board.
Sure.
And so, but anyway, chair, that's up to the board.
That'd be
At
a,
that point, is it possible on occasion for them to have more time to present? You know,
sure, I think, right, yeah, I mean, they can be put they can be put on the, they can ask to be put on the agenda, right? And
He did really well with 3 minutes. I'm just.
Yeah, no, I'm impressed with.
No, I think it's like,
yeah. I think so.
and discussion,
what's CTAC working on? What do they think?
yeah, discussion.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Have.
Yeah.
yeah. I think if they ask to be on the agenda, there's no
Okay.
problem, and I would, speaking as by myself, I would say, yeah, right?
It has
Yeah,
happened in the past.
yeah,
It all depends on also how full the agenda is,
Yeah.
what we've got going on.
Schedule.
Yeah.
But there've been some times when they've come and made a presentation here and they've been given extra time.
Yeah.
Sure.
And if they want to, if you all want to do it again, or they want to do it again, or the BPAC wants to, it's entirely up to you. Right? We just facilitate. So you tell us what you want.
all right, any other comments? No, all right, so we will meet on April 20th with our friends in Spotsylvania County,
Yeah.
showing us a good time.
Wait a second. Can't adjourn yet.
Oh, you must have.
We need more time.
I know this might be a record.
Collaborate and communicate.
Yeah. You want me to slow it down, right? Yeah, all right. It's like, I'll leave your. I think Supervisor Fanush might kill me. I'm gonna declare us adjourned, yeah. Yeah.
Just the